There are so many cases where you end up women maybe go ahead and trying to date the wrong kind of guys, and also knowing that when there are certain guys that are unattainable, that might have a certain level, there's a reason why they're not approachable is because they are married or in a relationship. But the one thing that is a factor is that the fact that you want to find somebody that has a certain level that a lot of women are looking for. Because of course we know there's that lower percentage of the top, 5-10% of men that have a lot of wealth, that have the body that the woman is looking for, and, personality, all the things that are the highest traits, the highest expectations. There are a lot of women that want that highest 5-10% top high value guy, but not realizing that in some cases, the guy is just wanting to go ahead and just screw around because he doesn't need to go ahead and settle with anybody. And even if he does settle with somebody, he's not being probably totally serious about it because of the fact that he's probably fooling around with other people while he might be saying he's in a committed relationship with somebody else. So 8 signs he's a player and will never commit to you. It's from yourtango.com. And they bring up the fact that you're going to come across a player or two. You'll get played when you feed into their false identity. Players are never direct. Spontaneity and uncertainty comes with being with them attracts a woman like you to them. And their characteristic that truly separates other players from other men is your ability to manipulate women utilizing mixed signals to fool. So players are hot and cold. They don't want you to think that you're in a relationship with them. They also don't want you to think you're single either. And they want to keep the relationship undefined. And they might want to make your relationship a situationship or, fuck buddies. Let's just call it what it is, right? So he wants all the boyfriend perks without any commitment. He wants your loyalty, but cannot give you his because you aren't his girlfriend. And so there are all these different things you should be thinking about. The difference is that a guy who sees your value, who would never have an undefined relationship with you or play you. He knows that if he doesn't commit, he runs the risk of losing you to another man. He'll view you as too good of a woman not to commit to you. Might send mixed signals. So here are the 8 signs that you might be dating a player and he's not going to commit to you. Number 1, he never has deep conversations with you. Keeping the conversations light, fun, airy. Because also, if he tries to keep something serious, he's not going to be able to retain a lot of the things that are going to be said in that conversation, a deep conversation with you, because that's too much to retain. Always trying to keep it where there's not anything that this particular player has to remember. That's where the guy's perspective. That's why they do that. Second, texting you only late at night. So reaching out to you is the last thing on his mind. Well, that's also part of the playing of the dating game with the fact that the guy is so busy, he can't make time to go and reach out to you until late at night. And that's one of the things that I've always known for myself. I've always texted women later in the night because of the fact that it's that portrayal. It's that thought process of, I'm so busy all day. Like I tell some women quite a bit of times, I'm not free to talk or text until 10 o'clock at night. And I've done that many times. As I'm recording late at night tonight, I'm almost thinking I could text somebody right now if I wanted to talk to them, because I do put that idea, like I'm working so much, I'm working so hard, so busy. So, it's that idea that the woman might not get the thought process that you're dating other people because you're just too busy doing everything else. Number 3, never takes you on a date. It's always Netflix and chill. And a man who values you, will invest in you, means he'll want to take you out on a date. He doesn't want to see your worth, so he'll avoid spending as much money as he can on you. So also keeping it intimate, keeping it private, so that other women that might see him will not be seen, right? He love bombs you. So getting bombarded with good morning beautiful texts, lovey-dovey emojis, love bombing, and all he does to get you emotionally attached as quickly as possible so he can get what he wants out of you. That's manipulation at its best. And nice guys will do the same thing. But it's the part of that where the nice guy does the love bombing, but when it's a player, the woman's going to fall into the trap. Meanwhile, when it's a nice guy, she's not going to take into it. She's going to basically try to bring the guy into her trap. There is a difference, folks. Number 5 is he wants to progress things physically really fast, right? As close as he can get to the conquest of being able to go ahead and get you in bed. That's the plan. And number 6, he hides his phone from you. So he is hardly an exclusive relationship, and he always has girls texting or calling him. Doesn't want to get caught up messing with other women, so he tries to hide his phone. Well, if you're a player, you're supposed to kind of like just keep the phone on silent and don't turn it on at all. and you find your times to go to the restroom or you go to other places so that you go ahead and catch up on all your messages while you're at it. It's not the guy would normally do it, but in this particular case, they're trying to say that he'll keep answering the phone. Number 7, his stories will add up. You catch him in lies, he constantly denies it. Even if you have proof, he says it's not him, it's not true, and then you just want to believe him because of the value of what you put this guy out to be. And finally, doesn't introduce you to friends or family, but then again, if it's a guy that's just dating you, friends or family should not come until there's like the onus that you're in a serious relationship and that there's intentions of getting engaged or getting married. That's just my thought on it. But anyways, another story I want to bring up here real quick is from Science Alert. I never go to this website, but I found this story was interesting. There are experiments that show now that women can sniff out single and married men. They can detect when a guy is single or married. So, in recent years, the science of human scent has been sniffing up a storm in the lab. Recent results suggest that people who like to take deep whiffs of another's natural fragrance are likely more sexually motivated overall. Straight men seem to be more attracted to a woman's scent when their crush is at the most fertile point in her menstrual cycle, or when a woman is sexually aroused. An exposure to these pheromones can trigger men to drink more on a night out. When women are ovulating, studies have found that they are more attracted to masculine-looking males. And experiments also suggest that men's testosterone levels can subtly fluctuate depending on whether men are single or in a committed relationship. Because actually there's a point where people can feel like, yeah, women can detect when a guy is single or married and be able to know that. And so there was a study in 2019, an Australian study that had 80 heterosexual women between 18 and 35 rate the body odors and faces of heterosexual men. And out of 89 participants, female participants were able to go ahead and they were rated randomly. Portraits, female participants rated on the men on their attractiveness, sexiness, intelligence, loyalty, kindness, trustworthiness, masculinity, and whether they look like a good partner based on their body odor. And that researchers found that single men's body odor smelled stronger to all women than the natural scent of partnered men. So the body odor was stronger. The more likable the male scent, the more likely women were able to rate their looks as favorable. And that partnered women rated single men's faces as more masculine than partnered men's faces. Single women rated them equally. That might sound curious, but the authors say that past research suggests that coupled women who were ovulating found the appearance of single men more attractive than partnered men. A little food for thought. As you're going out there fooling around, and whether you are fooling around with a player or you're finding someone that you realize you think they're single, they're married, well then find the ones that are not married and not caught up and not playing you, and find the ones who you can be depraved and debaucherous.